Hello guys, welcome back to Honest Legend. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing review of this USB bike generator. So essentially what this does, this allows you to put this onto your bike and actually generate electricity by literally cycling, and it generates electricity for literally USB bike lights, your phone, your camera or power bank. It's also essentially a built-in power bank as well. It's really easy to install. I've got this from AliExpress. It probably does have power in the box, but yeah, let's find out what it looks like. So without further ado, I'm going to unbox this and show you what's inside. Just going to cut it here. Should be very simple. So now that we've cut it, let's see what we get inside. But we get the instruction manual, so it's in Chinese, but we get an English version as well. This is the user guide. It tells you exactly how to use it. It says it provides 5 volts DC. It also has power protections. It won't like surge, so if you ride too fast, it won't actually fry the bike generator. And it comes with all these tools to actually put it on your bike, and it even tells you how to install it. So you just put it on the side of your bike, you install it on, and then you could just essentially you press on the start mark and it will start engaging. So yeah, that's pretty neat. So what we're going to do, we're just going to see what else is in the box. Over here we get the actual generator itself. So as you can see, it's got quite a bit of weight to it. This goes on the bike somehow, and you even got screws on there. Let's see what's in here. This is probably all the equipment that we get to actually mount it on the bike. So we get a bag, and this is all the equipment. So we get a spanner and get a few things to actually mount it on the bike. But what I want to do, I want to see if there's actually any battery in there. So as you can see, we get a USB-A port, and over here we get another USB-A port. So 2 USB-A ports, which is quite neat. They should have USB-C on there, but I guess I'm not complaining. So let's see if there's actually power out of the box. So it does claim that it has 1000 milliamp hours of battery in here, so it probably already has charge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this USB tester in and see if it lights up. And as you can see, it lights up. So as you can see, we get 4.93 volts. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to charge my mobile phone using this bike generator straight from the factory. So I haven't pedaled or gave it any power yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my phone right over here. I'm going to plug it in like so. I'm going to plug it in and see how many volts we get from it. As you can see, we get about 4 volts. Well, that's the limitation of the cable. The cable's max 4 volts, and we're getting a steady 4.85 volts. So we're not fluctuating in voltage. So good thing is that it's steady and it's good quality, this. So it makes for a decent power bank, as well as getting power from your cycling. I'm going to plug it in the other side and see if it's similar. So I'm going to plug it in here, and as you can see, we get the same 4 watts. So as an experiment, I just plugged it into my usual charger, and I'm actually getting 6 watts going through the same cable. So that means this bike generator is only limited to 4 watts of output, but I guess that's fine because we probably won't to be generating that much power from it anyway. So yeah, the max output that we actually get is 4.6 watts. So this is pretty much the only bike generator that's decent that I've found on AliExpress and Amazon. So yeah, this is pretty much the only bike generator that actually outputs USB, and it's got a power bank in there, and it's stable as well. So that's why I've gone for this one. One thing I just discovered right now is that it actually says 5 volts at 1 amp. So yeah, that's as expected. It advertises that it's supposed to give 5 watts only. It has a capacity of 1000 milliamp hours. Another thing I forgot to add about this is that it actually says the battery indicator flashes once if it's below 25%, twice if it's between 25 and 50, 3 times if it's above 50 and below 75, and actually 4 times when it's above 75. It was flashing twice, so that means it's above 50%. That electricity is actually generated through multiple circuits, and then it's output to the load. If I'm cycling without anything plugged into the generator, then that means it will just charge the battery inside here. If I plug a USB device in here, then it will also charge that device as well. So yeah, it's good because I can use it to charge various things like my phone, my power bank, my action camera, or even my drone, because I usually go on drone flights and I usually take my bike with me. So this will actually help me. Of course, I can use my power bank anyway, but if I'm riding, I might as well harness the energy of me riding, essentially extra energy that I might as well just put into my USB devices. So essentially by cycling, I'm actually also creating electricity. And another thing I discovered is that if I spin it around like this, it probably generates electricity right now. So look, I'm spinning it around really fast. As you can see, I could generate it like that way. So it's like a hand crank in the kind of way, but it probably won't generate as much. the RPM is probably much higher when you actually cycle. And it doesn't say anything about it being water resistant, but by looking at this generator, it actually does look water resistant. Like the way it's screwed on, it doesn't look like any water can ingress into this housing. And as you can see, it doesn't look like any water can ingress in here and in here as well. As you can see, it's got USB flaps. It's not exposed. It's actually got flaps to actually cover it. Of course, it won't be waterproof, so you can't submerge it in water. But if you're cycling out in the rain, it will at least be water resistant, except for up here, it might look a little bit exposed. If it's going to be facing upwards in your bike, then it probably won't even be letting water in anyway. So I guess, yeah, this is really thought through, this design. So anyway, now we're going to just go ahead and get this installed onto my bike. All right, so I've got my bike generator right over here, and I've got my bike over here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to now install it on my bike. So I'm not sure whether to mount it in the front, so I recommend you to put it in the front wheel of the bike so that you can actually mount it on to this one of these posts on here, and this will just go against over here. So, and the USB is right over here, and you can just easily access it for you charging your mobile devices or your bike lights. So it says to install the long bracket on the engine. The M16.16 screw is actually on the actual generator. So as you can see, got to install it facing this way and upwards. So like this, you got to get the screw out and put it in there. All right, so I followed the instructions, and now I'm just going to use the wrench to just tighten the long bracket onto the actual generator. So let's just tighten it, make sure it's tight enough. So then it says to put it in the stop state after, so I just did that right now. So now it's in the stop state, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to now install it. So I'm going to make sure that when it's actually on its start state, so it actually touches the rim. So you've got to just push this down, and then I'm just going to make sure it actually touches. So as you can see, I'm going to try and find the perfect position to actually get it touching the actual bike. So I actually found out the perfect place to actually put it was the other side. So I flipped the bike around, and as you can see now, it's actually touching perfectly. What I'm going to do, I'm now going to get the other bit sorted out. So it says you can choose either M6 50 screws or 30 screws. So I think that depends if it fits on your bike or not. And it says to put an M4 screw, which is this tiny screw over here. So I think this goes inside. I'm not sure why it's not pre-installed, but it looks like this actually goes in here. So I got this piece right here, this small bracket, and I'm now going to put this in the back side. I tried the M630 screws and it did not fit all the way, so I think the M650 screw should be just fine for my bike. I think I tightened the other screws enough. Now I need this middle screw, which should be easy to tighten. I keep doing this to tighten it, and I finish it grip onto the actual bike. Alright, so I realised it was meant to be at its stop position instead of its start position. So I was just testing it around, and then I forgot to put it back on its stop position. So I've actually been installing it with its start position, and its start position was touching it anyway, which is alright, but right now it's at its stop position, and it should be a bit closer to the bike, just enough to be really close to the bike. So what I got to do, I got to untighten this and just adjust it a little bit. So it's at its stop position right now, and it should be just close enough just to be touching it, and then when you start, then it just pushes against the bike to actually get most friction. So I think now it should be good. Now I should be able to just tighten it up, and it should be fine. Right, so as you can see, it should be quite functional now. So if I was want to ride without, I can just leave it like this, and when I want to start generating power, plug in a USB, I can just press this down, and it'll be touching this bike, and now I should be generating power. Alright guys, so what I've just done, I've just completely drained the internal battery in this generator. I'm going to plug my USB tester in now, just to show you that there's absolutely no power in here left. So yeah, we've got absolutely no power coming from this generator. What I'm going to do now that it's completely empty, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on a little bike ride. I'm going to cycle for a bit, and I'm going to charge this generator up. I'm going to go for a few miles, and after how many miles, I'm going to calculate how much power we get in this generator from cycling. So this might vary from cycle to cycle, or the speed. I'm also going to track my distance on Strava. Alright, so I've been riding for about 2 miles now, so roughly about 2 miles, and yeah, I've charged it for a little bit. Let's see how much power we get out of it. So as you can see, just plugged it in, we're charging. We're getting about 4.87 volts, and we're flashing at 2 bars, which means we're about 50%. So that means we did charge quite well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to carry on riding. I'm going to see how much power we can get out of it, and maybe I'll keep it plugged in to my phone to see how much charge we get on this USB tester. So I'm going to leave it plugged in. Alright, so it stopped charging that quickly. I'm not sure why. And the thing is, I was riding as well, so I'm not sure why it stopped charging. Maybe it produces so little power that it dies so quickly. I'm going to keep riding, and I'm going to see if it turns back on. If it doesn't turn back on, I'm going to ride without charging it and then see if that helps. Alright, so when I ride, it actually starts charging. Alright, it started charging again, and even when I'm continuing riding right now, and it's pulsing between not charging and charging. So I think what's recommended is I'm gonna unplug it for a little while. I'm gonna let it charge up because I don't think I charged it up fully. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let it charge up fully, then I'm going to charge my phone with it afterwards. Alright, so I've just come back from cycling. I had this USB generator charging the internal battery for the duration of the bike ride. I've done a total of 8 miles and I rode for about 55 minutes. I did try charging it during the bike ride, but then as you saw, the device actually stopped charging, and I think it's because this actually ran out of battery and it needed to charge this before charging the phone. I carried on the ride without charging the phone. I just left this internal battery charging for a little while until I reached 8 miles. This reading's got the measurements from when I charged the phone, so we've already got the milliamp hours from when you actually charge the phone. So I'm going to plug this in now. As you can see, we charged at a total of 60 milliamp hours, and as you can see, that's flashing 3 times, meaning we've got more than 3 times the battery, but it might not be accurate because I didn't charge it fully. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this charging. Alright, so we're charging from the bike generator. We're charging at a total of 3.6 watts. And I'm charging this Anker power bank directly from the power of cycling. So I'm going to see how many milliamps we can actually charge. So for the first 60 milliamps you saw, I charged it from my iPhone during the bike ride, but now I'm charging it directly to the Anker power bank, and I'm going to see how long I could charge the power bank for. And then I'm going to see how efficient this bike generator is and if it's worth it. One thing I'd like to add is that while I was cycling, I was putting in a stop position, which is what is on right now, so it's not touching the wheel. That means there's less resistance. That means the bike generator is not generating anything because it's not touching the wheel. I felt a bit of less resistance, but when it's actually touching the wheel, then there's a little bit of more resistance. Well, it's not that much, but it's a little bit, but it's enough to actually cause you to put a little bit more effort in cycling, which is, if you would like more exercise, then I guess it's a good thing. It requires you to put more power in, so I guess that extra power is to actually charge the generator. And of course, when you're going downhill, it's going to be charging anyway. You're getting extra power from that as well, so that's quite neat. So this is all from the 8-mile bike ride, and I'm going to see how many milliamps we can actually get out of this. So it looks like we're already down to 2 bars. And the thing is, you might see this at 180 milliamp hours. That's probably not everything that's going into the power bank. That's because obviously some energy is being lost as heat. As all power banks is, some energy is lost as heat. So that's another thing you've got to mind. Indicator is actually now doing 1 flash. That means we're less than 25%. So it was 2 flashes and quickly it went to 1 flash. I'm not sure how long we're going to get. Alright, so battery just died, literally. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to now get the power bank. We got a total of 170 milliamp hours, which isn't that much for literally an 8-mile bike ride. So I've cycled for 8 miles. This is 8 miles worth of cycling, and I've only got 170 milliamp hours, which is not a lot at all. It's really little. So to actually get the full 1000 milliamp hours, you're gonna have to cycle for literally 10 times, almost 10 times as much, so like 70 or 80 miles. So unless you do a lot of cycling, then I don't think this is worth it. It's not that much energy. You're not gonna get a full charge in your phone out of this charger, and it stops charging when you cycle. So there's extra power with pedaling. If you want to charge your devices while cycling, I think it's recommended to just stick with your power bank. Have your power bank charged, ready to go, and then once you're on your bike ride, just use your power bank to charge, or get a solar panel. Even solar panels are more efficient, and I'm gonna make reviews of solar panels. They're much more efficient than these, and yeah, you don't have to worry about charging it. So that's the good thing about this. It's just not meant for if you want to charge your phone or power bank. It's not really effective. I've done an 8-mile bike ride and I've only got a little bit of power from it, only 170 milliamp hours. So per mile, that is about 20 or 21 milliamp hours. It's not really that much. You get 210 milliamp hours for 10 miles. If you're going to do a 10-mile bike ride, you're only going to get 210 milliamp hours, which isn't really a lot. And for 100 miles, that's when you get 2100 milliamp hours, which is enough just to charge your phone. So if you want to charge your phone fully, you're gonna have to cycle 100 miles, and that is a lot of miles. So I genuinely think this is not worth it for charging your phone. But if you're going to use this generator for charging your bike lights, then I'd say for that it's worth it. And the good thing about this is that you don't have to charge your bike lights every time. This will essentially just power your bike lights. So for demonstration, I've got a bike light over here, but since I just drained this already, I'm going to pretend this is coming from the generator. And it probably won't drain a lot of power anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug it in. So this is USB chargeable anyway. So I'm going to plug it in. Alright, so this was a mini USB, so it's not USB-C, so all I had was a USB-C cable on hand. So as you can see, I've got this different bike light charger, and as you can see over here, we're only charging at half a watt, which is literally no energy at all. So this will more than enough be able to sufficiently charge with more than a watt. So it also creates a little bit of extra noise when it's turning around, and it's an extra thing to worry to have on your bike, and it might not be waterproof. Anyway, I'm going to now end this video of me reviewing this USB bike generator. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Thank you for watching.